Hey whales, good morning. Happy Friday. It's July the 18th. Let's recap the markets and go over the top stocks to buy for today. For those that don't know me though, I'm a full-time trader. I do these updates every single day. And to give you an idea in terms of how I'm doing so far for my trades, you can see here guys, year to date, doing really well, up 90.4K USD, 60% win rate as well. And this is all on a $100,000 account. So been doing very well here. You can see we did take trades across CLSK, Netflix, TSM so far this week as well. And for the month of July, you can see from the calendar view, again, very, very solid month overall. And hopefully I can keep up this momentum for the rest of the weeks ahead. We are up about 9.6K USD in profit here. Last month here in June, we did make 11.5K. And then in May before that, 11.9K. So I am hovering around that 11K mark. We're almost there. So hopefully, yeah, we can reach our goal and surpass that goal. And again, guys, all my trades that you see here, everything is always posted in Discord, right? So you get the access to not only the swing trade signals, but you also get the day trade ideas, and you get exactly when I get in and get out of trades, right? So I give you that commentary every single morning, every single trade that I'm looking to get into. And you'll know exactly when I get in and out. So I look forward to seeing you here in Discord. The link is in the description as well as right here at StockWhale.vip. All right, so with that said, let's jump in, guys. So I want to preface this video by going over the main sectors to understand why we want to look at the different rotations first, okay? So for the energy sector, you can see that we are starting to bounce off from the 200 moving average. So that's a very good sign on the weekly time frame. So it is starting to show some life here. We are trying to break past this trend line as well. So keep a lookout for energy moving forward as well. For financials, right? Financials has been on a tear. We did break to all-time highs, pulling back slightly here. I do think we have a few more subwaves higher before a larger pullback, and then ultimately pushing higher even more, right? So for me, for financials, I'm looking for this pullback to buy. I'm not going to be chasing here at these levels. For industrials, right? Industrials has been doing amazing. So think of companies like Cat, John Deere, and you can see we are at my targets, guys, already at 151 to 163. So what does this mean? Again, I'm not going to be chasing here. I'm going to wait for that larger pullback. We do have a few subwaves higher for sure, but I won't be chasing industrials as of today. For real estate is consolidating nicely. You can see we are within sort of this range. So possible inverse head and shoulders. You have the left shoulder here, you have the head, and then potentially the right shoulder. So look at real estate companies, guys. That does make sense, right? So keep a lookout there. And then you also have XLP, guys. So consumer staples. I do like consumer staples a little bit lower, right? Testing sort of these main supports here once again. So think of companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. These are other ideas to keep a lookout for as well. XLV, so healthcare, definitely the most lagging name. So there are two possibilities for healthcare here. We are breaking below the 200 moving average. So pretty bearish so far. Now, if this is the low at 127, then this could be a good position to buy into. But right, this could easily turn into a 7-wave swing towards the downside like this before higher. So if you wanted to build a position into healthcare, just know that there might be a more downside room unexpectedly, right? So you just got to be aware of that. It could definitely put in a double correction like this before higher. Okay, so this could definitely be more of a long-term play. So if you're in healthcare, and if you're okay for the long term, you can keep building a position there, but take it slow, right? There's no confirmation yet of a bullish uptrend. We're just trying to find some lows at this point. And then last two for XLY, you can see for XLY, for consumer discretionary, it is not the most leading name. It is not the most lagging name, but I think it's planning to catch up here. It looks like the rotation is going to be into consumer discretionary soon, where you have companies like Amazon, Tesla, Nike, right? These are all starting to push a bit higher here. So looking like, it wants to try to retest all-time highs. We're starting to break above that trend line as well. So let's see if XLY can continue pushing. And then finally, the miners, XME. So same thing with financials and industrials. I'm not going to be chasing this one. So gold, metals, copper, all-time highs here. So of course, I think we're going to keep pushing up, but looking for a larger pullback before going in. Okay, So with that said, and as you have an understanding of the different sectors, let's jump into sort of the main stocks that I'm looking at, okay? The first one for today is Boston Scientific, right? So you can see we are at a great sort of level here. I see 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3, indicating a correction, finished correction possible, right? And from that, you can see a potential inverse head and shoulders here. So Boston Scientific is consolidating nicely. So anything around these levels, guys, does make sense for a potential position, right? So you can buy on red days and look for the inverse fib levels for targets around 111 to 115. So pretty good risk to reward scenario, in my opinion, for anyone trying to get into Boston Scientific. Next one is Campbell's Soup, guys. So Campbell's company, it's been on a huge downtrend on a weekly, guys. I mean, look at this downtrend, guys, right? Huge. But you can start to see we are forming a bottoming formation here on the daily and 4-hour time frames here. Possible an inverse head and shoulders play, right? So clear stop loss point at these levels. So you can definitely get in around these fib levels that make sense on a red day and try to push up higher closer to the 200 moving average. So pretty good risk to reward up there for Campbell's company. There might be catalysts, guys. We don't know if the markets are going to start to shake up and they go into sort of these type of names. Who knows, right? More safe dividend plays. So keep a lookout for Campbell's in case you want to diversify a little bit. For the next one is Builders First Source. So home builders, guys, just like real estate, they've been lagging a little bit, but it's starting to become very interesting here, guys, right? Starting to form a little bit of a bottom, curling out. We made a first higher high. We broke this high now. So we made 5 waves in. So look for a potential push higher. Okay, so anywhere around these levels, right, makes sense for a potential buy on home builders. So this definitely, I think, is a more longer term play because it's coming off of a very large downtrend, but this does look like a bottom formation possible, right? You have all this room for this trend line to reach for a target. So very good risk to reward for builders, guys. If you wanted to try to time a bottom here, I think it would make sense. For DHI, same thing with the builders. Looking pretty good in terms of just the overall, right? Overall story, overall bottoming formation. Again, it's coming off of weekly lows here, 200 moving average on the weekly. Last time was back in 2022 on a banking crisis and COVID. So every time it hit that, where did it go? It went up. So keep a lookout for DR Horton. Next one is Celsius. So Celsius, pretty interesting levels as well. You can see we are making a healthy correction. Doesn't look impulsive yet towards the downside. Looks more so like we made a large run and it's pulling back very similarly, something like this, like a fractal looking like this, right? So keep a lookout for this type of, fractal, all right? You can see it's doing the same thing, but on a larger scale. So Celsius does make sense. It's a hyper growth company, right? And let's just take some fib levels, right? You are at the 618 level around these $42. So could make sense for a position. Keep going for Ball Corporation. I like Ball off the low. You can see consolidating nicely into a flag. I like flag formation, so keep a lookout for a potential outbreak here as well, okay? For Apple's an interesting one. So with the Discord group, we are in at the lows around 200s. So if you didn't get into Apple in my Discord, you have a chance at this sort of pennant looking, figure or pattern here. We are holding above the moving averages. Daily starting to coil up a little bit. And Apple is the worst performing, or one of the worst besides Tesla on the year, right? So it's been down, I think, negative 16%. Off the lows, it's moving sideways, so that's a good sign. This does look like a potential accumulation before higher on Apple. So you want to accumulate Apple, good levels here. You can have stop losses underneath 194 if you want, but I like it as a long-term play if you want to add it to your portfolio or even just a trade here. For Goldman Sachs, very good M&A activity as well. Looking like a resting period before higher, okay? So there is a potential flag in order, right? So definitely for a chance to do something like this. So keep a lookout for Goldman for moves higher. Estee Lauder is the next one. So Estee Lauder is an interesting one. We're right on the moving averages, so pretty good levels as well. Let's take a look at some key zones. So near 318, but it does look like a potential bottom for at least a move higher, right? So either two things can happen. It can go and close to 98 or put in a what you call a head and shoulders pattern, which is a top, and come down closer to 75. So this is another good area if you wanted to get into Estee Lauder, but something to think about as well. ERJ. So I like ERJ as well. You can take a look on a daily time frame. This is Embraer. So another airplane manufacturer. So it's competing against companies like Boeing, like Airbus. And because of the whole Boeing fiasco, it gives an opportunity for a company like ERJ to come in and steal some market share, and it looks like it's doing just that, right? So you have the 618s on this fractal as a possibility for a chance higher, right? It can come lower a little bit. If I take the fibs from this level, there is a chance it can come lower to about 45 to 43 bucks, right? So two areas to be very excited about is this one and down here. So keep a lookout for Embraer. Next one is MU for Micron Technology. So Micron has been pulling back, and you can see, guys, look at this huge support at these levels. Let's take a few sort of important fib levels so you can see the 618s at 104 makes sense. So keep a lookout for that level, right, as a potential add here for a chance. And then for Meta, so I like Meta overall. So there are two possibilities here that it can do, right? The first one is that it comes lower down to the 665 level, which is a great level, right? You have the moving averages on the daily, nice reset of the indicators, but it can also definitely bounce right now at 699. And the reason why, you also have the 318 as the fib ratios, and then you can take this fractal as well, and you can see that it's at the 618, right, of this pivot low. Okay, so we're using pivot lows, these pivot lows, to get the confluence. So there's a lot of confluence on Meta right now at these levels that it can bounce. Even on a 4-hour time frame, if we just take the extension levels, right, we are at the 1-to-1 to 1618 extension, so very nice three-wave move down. So in wave theory, we call that typically a ABC correction, right? So possible ABC down to the 1-to-1 level. So it makes sense, right, for Meta. If it can bounce, right, you're looking at 776 as the main target there. Let's keep going for Cake. So Cake's an interesting one, right? So I've been mentioning about Cheesecake Factory. So you have this flag, guys. You have this flag potential. So look for potential flag for upsides higher. If we take the, looks like this is 5 waves, so there's multiple different areas, but you're looking at possibly 69 bucks for Cake as well on an upside move. IBM, I do like IBM as well. It's starting to curl a little bit, right? It's starting to curl, like I mentioned. So look for IBM as a potential here to push up, right? It's at 318. So if this can hold, you're looking at 306 as the target for IBM. For Dave & Buster's, so Dave & Buster's off the lows, right? Huge move towards the upside. It is putting in a three-wave move here down to some levels that is interesting. So 29 to 27 bucks could be an interesting play. And then let's take sort of the 618s as well, just in case if it does come down all the way. You have a lot of this support area as well for Dave & Buster's, okay? And then last two for VC, again, real estate looking interesting. And VC is a very high dividend paying name. So if it does come down closer to 31, guys, this is a nice level to possibly load up on for a chance at 34 bucks, right? Real estate's lagging and it's starting to show some life here going into 2026. And then finally for Snow, same thing. It is holding sort of these levels here and can push higher, right? And make some all-time highs, or not all-time highs, but 52-week high. So those are sort of the main plays that I'm looking at, guys. Again, all my entries, everything that I go into, all my swing trades, we are absolutely killing it, right? It's all posted in Discord. I'm up 90K USD, guys, on a 100K account that I started this year. So come join. I look forward to seeing you here. The link is in the bio. And yeah, we'll have a great time. See ya.